Welcome to Clash of the Podcast. This is episode 5, Everything Pro Wrestling, Hubbard Wrestling. We come together every Monday live at 6:05 to bring you the latest and greatest when it comes to pro wrestling, give our thoughts, opinions, previews, predictions, whatever we need. Happy to be here. Another good Monday. Sean, how are you?
What up? Happy to be here. Conrad, appreciate you, my G. Everybody out there, it's a rainy afternoon on a Monday here in New York, or lower New York. But we're here, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a cold, windy day here. But I appreciate everybody who is popping up in the chat. Shout out to Rob, who's in the house. E is in the house as well. Mr. Pro Wrestling's joining us. What is good? Joel's in the house. What is going on, Joel? Hope to win the code tonight. Yes, we are doing a Bound for Glory giveaway for those in the stream. Now, you got to sit all the way till the end, but make sure you're showing love in the stream, and it could be you, brother. Could be you who wins that Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory to watch for free. It's an incredible card, and we're going to be going through that for you as well on this show, so hopefully you guys can enjoy that. Cameron Dressin, what is going on, Cameron? Welcome. Good to see you in here. Nice profile picture, by the way. I see you looking fancy in that suit. Doug's in the house. What's good, Doug? I see you with the hey yo. Let me see here. We got a lot of code talk. E talk about Hogan. Damon, what's good? Rob said y'all better bundle up. I know what song that's from. Ray from Respect the Craft podcast. Yep. What's good, Ray? Matt Lopez in the house as well, double digits. If you guys are watching live with us on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button for us. Also, leave us some comments down below, even if it's after the fact. I still want to hear your thoughts and opinions on the subjects being discussed today. And we got a lot of good stuff for you. So let's get into it. First, we got to pay some respect and tributes to the following here. First and foremost, Antonio Inoki. Absolute legend in the wrestling business. I don't know if people realize how big of a legend this guy is. Just shocked to see him gone. How are you feeling about everything recently with him, Sean?
Well, it's an unfortunate thing, of course. Antonio Inoki, I really didn't come to know him until about 10 years old, 11 years old, when I watched him in his interaction with William Regal on WCW television. But his wide-reaching fame and wrestling notoriety goes far back than before you or I were even thoughts. Obviously being a historian, I remember looking back at old tapes. And obviously, we have the benefit of the WWE Network and places like that where you can see his interaction with Hogan. And he's had some memorable situations outside of wrestling, or in wrestling, but outside of just the wrestling umbrella by basically doing what he was doing with Muhammad Ali. And it's certainly one of those things that continue to be another example of how some of the greats are starting to leave us. But he's gone but never forgotten.
Yeah, Antonio Inoki, I was happy that Corey Graves even remembered that he was a WWE champion, Sean. Like, people tend to forget that. It's one of those title reigns that never happened. And when you go back and look at Inoki, without this man, Sean, like, there's no New Japan Pro Wrestling possibly.
That's a fact.
He's probably the second biggest wrestler ever out of Japan. It's between him and Giant Baba, in my opinion, for like the two most well-regarded wrestlers from there. His name does have controversy surrounded with political aspirations and stuff like that. We know that, but I wanted to remember Antonio Inoki for who he is and what he has contributed to wrestling. So you will be missed. And I got to give another one. This is NWR, as I like to call it in the Everything Pro Wrestling group and stuff. But Coolio, Sean. Coolio is probably a big part of both of our growing up, man. I wanted to get some of your memories on Coolio real quick.
Oh, most def. I mean, Coolio is a legend. He wasn't. He wasn't obviously. He never will go down as one of the greatest musicians of all time. But he definitely had a stretch where he was one of the more relevant hip hop artists. The Dangerous Mind soundtrack, Fantastic Voyage. He definitely helped with the figurative soundtrack to our youth. So another hip hop legend. Again, you don't have to be like a mega star to be a legend. I wouldn't consider him to be one of the mega stars of hip hop, the Biggies, the Pops, the Jays, but Coolio certainly has his place in hip hop history, and he earned it. He earned it, and I certainly am going to miss him from a hip hop historian standpoint.
Yeah, man. I remember being out in the burbs, I guess we'll say, as a kid. And I just remember that kids would listen to the Dangerous Mind soundtrack. They had it just for that Coolio song, man. It was a big deal. I was just playing Keenan and Kel's song, and like my son was just dancing to it because he liked the beat and stuff. We were just messing around. But Coolio has definitely impacted, I think, anyone who is in our age range lives. And I just thought Coolio deserves some respect, man. Fantastic Voyage had people coming out the trunks. Remember who started that, man? Always show some love to Coolio. Much love and respect. I wanted to get into some of these comments from the chat. We got Indie Wrestling Corner. What is going on, Tiff? Tiff gives some of the best independent wrestling interviews, so make sure you show her some love. Definitely a good person in the wrestling community. E said Enochiism had him booking like it was hustle. Yeah, listen, Rob will tell you, I used to watch, man. Bob Sapp, he put the world title on that brother, and he was a big dude over there. Even though he had him doing all the weird songs and dancing and stuff, Inoki's brain was just different, man. He wanted MMA and wrestling, and he tried to combine it. The Inokiism is a trip. There is no Japanese pro wrestling without him, Matt says. Y'all remember Coolio in the Batman movie? Coolio's in Gangster's Paradise now. Gangster Paradise, such a great song. Also, the Keenan and Kel theme. Biggie name drop Coolio in Brooklyn's Finest. Rest well, Coolio, on that fantastic voyage in heaven. Yeah, I appreciate everybody showing that love. Rob said, "Oh, here it goes." Yeah, look at Rob putting some of the greats there from New Japan. Japanese pro wrestling, I should say. I guess it's time, Sean. Time to talk about a little Extreme Rules.
It's time. It's kind of snuck up on us, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's a pretty good card, I would say.
Yeah, the card is definitely giving us some good stuff here to talk about. It's been a star-studded lineup. It's in Philadelphia. It's got the Extreme Rules name wrapped around it, so you kind of want those Paul Heyman-esque type matches when it comes to it. And the first match we have is a ladder match between Bayley and Bianca Belair.
Well, you have a situation now where Bianca Belair has been champion for quite some time, even without the belt for that couple of months, or almost actually about 8 months between SummerSlam and WrestleMania. She became a fan favorite, overcame the mountain known as Becky Lynch, and even got some respect for Becky as Becky left for her unfortunate injury. And now it's time to take it up a notch with the returning Bayley. Bayley has been arguably the most popular female competitor since her return at SummerSlam 2022, and has now set the collision course for her and Bianca Belair to rekindle their old rivalry that took place and was kind of stopped in its tracks when Bayley got injured to begin with. So what better way than to have Bianca Belair defend her title at Extreme Rules than to go up against one of the four horsewomen, one of the most respected of the four horsewomen, and possibly lose. I'm not going to get into predictions right now. We'll get into that in a minute, but possibly lose without having her shoulders pinned to the match and maintain her top flight status in the company. But definitely a marquee matchup.
Yeah. As far as how the we're getting some bad static popping up, some feedback. Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties. Always a pain. Always a pain.
Sorry about that.
Um, let's
I don't know.
see
I don't know
here.
if it's my voice inflection. I'm sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't hear anything on my end.
Yeah, it's still coming through kind of staticky.
All right. Well,
Okay. But yeah, so as far as the build to this one goes, um I don't know, man. The whole idea here with Bailey and Bianca, how are you guys feeling about Damage Control as a whole? Like, is this group working for you? Bailey came into SummerSlam with this group, and I feel like I know they're the women's tag team champions, but have they been booked well in your opinion? And Bianca, she's been around, she's been hanging in there, but right now I feel like the Raw women's division could use a little bit of a kick in the face right now, just to show that things are changed up and that you're flipping. And it's not that Bianca's bad. I think you can go back to Bianca, but I think Bailey kind of needs this victory more than most people can. I don't even know what's the best way to put this. Bianca doesn't need the win right now. She can always come back and get it back and work her way back up. But I don't know if Damage Control's done anything. Like I personally am not feeling the hype with the Damage Control stuff.
mm-hmm.
Sean, what do you think of it?
Well, I hope that my feed is a little better. Basically, where I'm at with it is that my mindset is Damage Control made a major impact at SummerSlam. I think they made a big mistake with them not winning the tag titles initially, but they righted that wrong. So now they have the belts. And now we can put ourselves in a position where you can actually really kind of take over the division with Bailey winning the title. But I agree. Unfortunately, it hasn't hit that much. It hasn't hit that hard since their debut. I think it's one of those things where, like, it's just missing something. I don't know what it is. I mean, we love Bailey. I like Dakota Kai and Io Sky as well, but it's just something missing. But at the same time, I'm torn because I'm torn because I feel like with Bianca, I love her, but I feel like something's missing on that end too. If that makes any sense, you know what I'm saying? I just can't put my finger on it.
I feel like it's like the credible opponent thing. Like, it feels just like the first title reign, in my opinion. Like with her and Sasha, she wins, and then it's like, okay, now what? Who does she face? And I feel like they're being so protective of certain people that the people she's beating, you're like, okay, cool, that's great. Now what? And we just keep saying, now what? Maybe if you're going to build Damage Control up to be a big deal, then give Bailey the belt for a little bit, even if it's for a short run. I don't think it would hurt. Let me see here. People in the chat, I'm going to go back to Demond here. He says, somehow we need Sky and Kai to turn on Bailey, join Bianca, and it'll be the 4 NXT girls versus the 4 horsewomen. I think that would be dope. Cameron says, there's only been one hiccup with Raquel and Aaliyah winning the belts first. That was such a bad mistake, in my opinion. Horrible. Just to be unpredictable. And Sean, I stand by this point, and you can always, someone can hate me for it. Predictability is not bad, in my opinion. When people do stuff to be unpredictable, it's foolish sometimes. A dog taking a dump on your carpet is unpredictable, but is it a good unpredictable? No, that's not good at all. That's bad. So don't do stuff just for the sake of it,
That may be the analogy of the day, I gotta tell you.
I'm just being honest. Good original Biggie saying good evening. What is good? What is good?
What up?
Let me see here. I don't know what you meant by this sounds peachy, but I'm gonna let that rock. Let's see here. Sean, let that voice out. See, I hear you on that, Joel. Break them up now before it gets worse, Demond says. Maybe they need a 4th player to make Damage Control work. Who would be the 4th, though? I don't know. Who's believable to beat Bianca right now? Here's the thing. In a ladder match, Bianca doesn't have to be pinned. This is why it doesn't hurt her. She could just be like, well, that's trash. You cheated.
I want to touch on ML's point if I have take a moment. I shout out to ML. I don't know why I call him ML. It just kind of flows that way. Shout out to Matthew Lopez. Um, I agree, and I think it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. Honestly, I think they need a manager, and I think they need a mouthpiece that's going to make sense. And I'm gonna tell you guys something that I still call him Eli Drake. I would love for him to get involved. I would love for him to get involved. He's just now breaking away from that ridiculous model gimmick, and what better way for him to come out and to reestablish himself than to be the mouthpiece of Damage Control? Because I'm going to say something that's probably a little bit controversial. I don't think Bailey's that good at promos. I don't think that Bailey is a tremendous promo. I think she's an okay promo. But when you're trying to establish a group, and this is my analytical side coming out, Conrad, when you want to establish a group and put yourself in a position to be noticed, that has to be an element that is over the top. I see the ding dong. She's good, and she has her moments. I just think that you have to have somebody extremely over the top charismatic to make a group like this. Because you got to understand, Dakota's limited and EO's limited in promos. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's all on Bailey. And unless Bailey's knocking it out of the park, which I don't think she has, you're going to run into problems. You give me Eli Drake. What is his name again? I keep forgetting his name.
Max Dupree.
Okay, Max Dupree. You give me Max Dupree. I'm going to try and respect his current name because I like Eli Drake better. Chat, let me know if I'm right. I think Eli Drake is much better. But
yeah,
Max Dupree. You give me Max Dupree as the mouthpiece of Damage Control. I think you got something special. But that's a pipe dream because we don't know what WWE is going to do with him, even though he has broken away from Maximum Male Models. So.
Quick sidebar, Maximum Male Models, if they keep that around, right? Let's just say it happens to stay around. Who could they have, should they keep it going, number one?
Let me think. No! Absolutely no! 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 Don't keep it around. That is just as bad as Braun Strowman, if not worse. No Braun Strowman, no Maximum Male Models. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, and it made Max Dupree look pathetic. No.
Hold on now. I'm going to come in here real quick. I love that the chat is going crazy. Eli Drake is so good. Dummy, yeah. What up, Sick? Everyone's going crazy. LA Nightwork, someone said as well. No way, drop that gimmick. Hold on, let me just throw something at the wall, though. If they wanted to so badly keep it around, I have an idea that maybe could make it a little bit better, maybe spice it up a little bit. What if you got Tyler Breeze back and had Tyler Breeze play that role then? As the player coach, kind of as the manager. He was a former model, and he's going to try to lead these guys to greatness, maybe. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go that route, I'll bring back Fandango as well. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being serious. That would be cool. But again, the Maximum Male Models is just kind of like one of those off-the-wall things that it just never made sense. I mean, if they had done Maximum Male Models with Breeze from the beginning, yeah, but now it almost seems like a Hail Mary if that was the case.
Yeah. I'm pushing it. I know already.
No, you're fine.
No, Matt Lopez said add Strowman to the Maximum Male Models. Done. LA Knight don't need any of the women's division. He getting away from Maximum Male Models. Bring back Prince Pretty and put him in charge of Pretty Deadly. Mic drop. You never know, man. I like the team of Mason Mansoor, but they need a gimmick change. I feel like they've messed up Mace at every turn so far. Dango is supposed to be on his way back to wrestling, but it wasn't clear if it was for WWE. I did see some interviews with him surface recently. Let's get into the next one. And Sean, this one's going to be a banger, I think. It's going to be a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. We are going to have the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. First, we have made the right move bringing Imperium back. Way better for dude, I don't even know their names anymore. Fabian Eichner and Ludwig Kaiser and Gunther. I don't even think his name's Fabian Eichner. It's something else now. I can't keep track of it. Sheamus, Pete Dunne, and what is this dude's name? I don't even remember his name now looking at him. Who cares? All right. What I want to see is Gunther and Sheamus going in there, beating the mess out of each other. I want to see chops. I want to see kicks. I want to see these dudes landing headbutts. It's going to be great. Shout out to the chat telling me Giovanni Vinci and Ridge Holland. I can't take more name changes with this company. Pick a name and stick with it. But, Sean, have you been impressed with this feud so far? Are you looking forward to it?
I have not been impressed with the feud between the two groups. I've been impressed with the feud between Sheamus and Gunther specifically.
You turned it around. I was shocked, and then you turned it around. Okay.
Yeah, I like that one-on-one dynamic. I think the Brawling Brutes are a little corny, and I think Imperium lost. Imperium, I like saying it that way. Imperium has lost a little bit of its luster. I like the fact that they're back. I like the fact that they're back, but I think they lost a lot from when they were at NXT. They were super over at NXT. But yeah, I love Sheamus versus Gunther. I just don't necessarily love the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. So where do you go from that? I don't know. I just think it's one of those things. Honestly, I think Gunther has brought Sheamus back to life. Honestly, Sheamus is back on the map because of that fight that he had with Gunther at Clash of the Castle. So we're going to continue here at Extreme Rules. I'm so disappointed in what they're doing with Butch. I don't even like calling him that. It's disgusting. You know, Pete Dunne, he was so good, and now it's like, I don't know. We got into the stupid.
You regulated him to be scrappy, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But anyway, to answer your question, no, I do not like the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. I do like Gunther versus Sheamus on a singular level, but that's not what we have at Extreme Rules. We have a fight between all 6 guys at Extreme Rules, and I really think it's a pointless, no title on the line, just trying to turn it up a notch. It's a 6-man tag. It's a little bit of a throwback, but nothing that, makes me excited.
It feels Attitude Era-esque to have the big title match that Cameron just brought up in the chat, where they're doing the IC title match on SmackDown. The IC title match is important because Sheamus needs that to complete the Grand Slam. Like, you know what I'm saying? He needs that so he could put in his last Ruby as Thanos into his glove so he could be like, now I'm a Grand Slam champion. And they're doing that match on SmackDown, and then we're going to get the 3-on-3 at the pay-per-view, which I understand. It's not going to be a bad thing. So I think whoever wins on SmackDown, the other side will win at the pay-per-view. But if it's up to me, I think you let Sheamus become the Intercontinental Champion for a little bit here, and then you let Walter and Imperium win afterwards. That's my prediction. I'm taking Walter and Imperium to win.
I am as well. I think that Gunther and Imperium get the job done, and we see where it goes from there. But it's just one of those. It's like, where do we go from here kind of deal,
Right. Damon says he'll take Ilya over Sheamus. Ilya will get his time in the spotlight. It's coming. This could also depend, like Cameron said, on who wins the IC match. In Extreme Rules, we need that Sheamus that took on Triple H. I feel like Sheamus, I think his main event days are behind him. I like this spot for him right now, though, as kind of the upper mid-card guy for people. Shout out to Sick, giving me credit for putting him on with Tyler Breeze. Breeze is great, man. It's Zoolander time, as I like to say when Tyler comes on. And Matt Lopez says he thinks it's time for a title change as well. And for those who joined us late, there's going to be a giveaway for Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory. Just stick around till the end. Have to remind you guys of that. Next match, TikTok, Sean. TikTok. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross. Have you been impressed with Kross's re-debut? Is that the right word even for this? Since he's come back, are you impressed with his comeback so far?
I'm impressed, but not overly impressed. I think he's done well. I think it's the same thing. I want to be fair. I know I give Braun Strowman a lot of trouble, and I'm being very serious. No tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic comments today. just like with Braun Strowman, the excitement of him coming back was something to behold. It's always something to behold when somebody makes a return, but it's all about what you do once you get back. And I think Cross has kind of not been put in the correct position to capitalize on the excitement of his return. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I am not a big fan of Drew McIntyre. I think that he's limited from my perspective, and I just think from an overall character perspective, a lot of people are really up on him. I'm not. I think he's a serviceable guy. I think he's somebody that should have gold around his waist, but not the world championship. And I think when you put him in the ring with a Drew McIntyre, who I think we all would probably agree, or most would agree, that Drew McIntyre has lost his main event status after the Clash. I mean, he couldn't have got any higher than Clash of the Castle when he lost. So now we're back to square one. You have him in this little feud with Karrion Kross or Killer Kross, and it's like, okay, well, you know what? Killer Kross is probably going to win, but what does that do for his career? Does that put him in line for a title shot against Roman Reigns? I don't know. But you can't just be complacent. I think that Kross and Scarlett are pure gold, but they have to be utilized in the correct way, and I don't think they have been so far.
Yeah, it's going to be unique, and even when it comes to Drew, I feel like Drew kind of got... Sean, I said this right before we had started Clash of the Podcast. I feel like they Lex Luger Drew McIntyre at that last pay-per-view they did.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. It reminded me of when Luger won by count now at SummerSlam 93. By the way, my father ordered that, and I should have got a refund for what they did. Oh, it makes me so angry, bro. That Yoko's doing a loss by a count out, and they have balloons falling from the ceiling. Like, this man done ended some. He started War and Peace, baby. He was like, yeah, everything's all good now, guys. I won by count out. No title, but it's all good. Trust me. It was terrible. Horrible. And I felt the same way when Drew was out there singing after he just lost. Like, you should be pretty mad right now, Drew, not singing and palling around. Yeah. So I think you need to accomplish two things here. You need to still make Drew look like a credible baby face, but at the same token, you still want Karrion Kross to be a heel of a heel. You want him to still be the person that's like, yeah, I would be happy to get that opportunity, right? So, and I think Scarlett's got to show what's her role going to be in this. Is she going to wrestle? Is she a manager? Is she the devious heel? I mean, we've seen her already do that fireball spot that just went all bad. In my opinion, you have to give this to Kross.
I want to give WWE some credit, which was something I don't usually do. That fireball thing was a complete failure. But when they came back from commercial and they did this still photo of it, it made it look so anybody who didn't see it live, I mean, it's 2022, YouTube or whatever you want to. But the bottom line is, when you came back from commercial, they fixed it. I give WWE credit for that one. That's one of those things where, like, I hate when they usually put their hand in the cookie jar and try and switch stuff up, a la 1992 Royal Rumble, cheering for Hogan when Hogan wasn't really being cheered. But last Friday or Friday, whatever that was, when the fireball thing really didn't go well, and they came back from commercial, and you can see the fireball like literally in Drew McIntyre's eyes. Big up to WWE production for that one.
They hit the Hogan 93 King of the Ring against Yoko where the camera exploded. That's what I thought of. Like, I just remember seeing the still images. I was like, yo, that's so cool. Then when I went back and I could finally watch it years later, I was like, that wasn't that cool. Like, what? Cameron says the direction for the world title shot has to be the reward off of this. I don't know how heel versus heel alignment would work. Maybe you could do it on SmackDown though, Cameron. It doesn't have to be a pay-per-view match. You still got some time, I think, before Reigns finally could drop it. You didn't have that black box. Shoot, only thing my dad was good for. Come on now, Steve. Come on now. Drew McIntyre has been in the world title picture so many times. I'm sick of it.
Me too, Ace.
He's good though. He's good, Ace. I mean, I can't hate on the guy.
Good. He's not. I'm not buying a pay-per-view that Drew McIntyre is world champion for. I'm not. I think Drew McIntyre is limited when it comes to being a mega star. He's not a mega star. He's just not. He's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Even though nobody's that guy compared to Roman right now in WWE, There are those that are that guy trying to be that guy, like the Randy Orton, who's hurt right now, unfortunately. Bray Wyatt, who hasn't returned yet, unfortunately. But there are guys like Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is believable in that role as a world championship challenger. Riddle proved to me that he is a world championship type challenger. Drew McIntyre just seems like a guy pushing a mountain up, like a rock up a hill.
I think I love Drew's comeback story. From his, like, he left, he went back to the Indies, he went to Impact, he grinded all the way, and he finally made his way back, and he looked like $1 million and became exactly what Vince wanted him to. I think I just love that story. Matt Lopez is bringing up that word came from Fightful that plans for Cody to win the world title for Roman weren't even concrete yet. So he thinks Drew got shafted. I mean, who knows? Who knows what the mind? This is Triple H's world now. So those plans that maybe they had for Cody. I don't have a piece of paper that I could crumble up right now, but that's what it is. There you go. That's the sound effect. New person in charge now. Cross needs to win to push him forward, but at this point, Drew keeps getting pushed in the back of the title hunt, too much to struggle to re-shine him up. Drew fell off during the him being champ during the Thunderdome era was fitting. Basic time for a basic champion. I said what I said. Harsh, man. Harsh.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's unfortunate that Drew McIntyre had his moment during the pandemic. I'm saying that with complete sincerity. It's unfortunate.
I felt the same way for Moxley in AEW. Like, Moxley had the exact same kind of reign where I was like, dude, I think people will be going crazy for this dude right now. And sadly, there's nobody here.
I'm sorry it worked out that way. His Royal Rumble moment in 2020 was amazing. And WrestleMania that year would have been amazing, but it's not our fault. We shouldn't have to be pushed back in time because of the pandemic. It's unfortunate, but that's just life. That's how it worked out.
Yeah, everybody's saying Scarlett is not a wizard. Drew was the perfect COVID champ. TJ can't hate on Drew, but I can. He's mid, hasn't been top tier since NXT from Sick. Drew was that guy, but there were no fans to solidify him. That's a good point, Damon. That's a good point to end it.
I don't think that's a good point at all, respectfully. I think that the points that came before it, I think McKinney has a lot of good points. I don't think this is one of them. I think the overall consensus, and he's entitled to his opinion, respectfully, but I think the overall consensus is that Drew McIntyre is mid to high. He's never going to be looked at as that guy, period. If you can't win the title, if management can't be convinced to let you win the title in your backyard, you're not the guy.
Man, that's a real statement right there. I think so you're taking Cross, I assume, as well?
I'm taking Cross as well, yes.
We move on. This is one that I kind of want to talk about. I kind of don't. This is the one that lets me down. And I feel like her matches have been the match that's like, on the shows where you don't even really want to talk about it. It's an Extreme Rules match. The last match was supposed to be a strap match, and we didn't mention it. This is an Extreme Rules match. Liv and Ronda. I mean, Sean, you're the combat sports guy out of us. What is this, dog? Yo, she can't even beat her up with a baseball bat. Yo, Liv has to lose here, right?
I'm gonna give you my opinion. I think this match is laughable. I think this match is absolutely laughable. I think that Liv Morgan, and I say this with respect because I know that she's a lifelong fan, and I know that she's a lifelong WWE hopeful who has accomplished her dream. But her in the same ring as Ronda Rousey is like, I don't know, Saquon Barkley playing Little League football in 2022. Like, it doesn't. She's way out of her league. It's clear she's way out of her league. You just touched on the fact that she couldn't even beat her up with a baseball bat. She's jumping through tables on what's her name? What's her name? The girl who was a heel and face, and she's in the army and whatever. What's her name? No, the girl who I forget. That's a shame. We neither one of her know her name. Was in the army.
Lacey Evans.
Jumping through tables through Lacey Evans just to prove a point that she can do it. Almost killed herself. Liv Morgan, I'm going to use the P word. I'm going to use the P word. Liv Morgan's pathetic in this moment. She's pathetic. She's pathetic. She's not in Ronda Rousey's league. And I'm not talking about Ronda. Obviously, we know this is sports entertainment, okay? Obviously, we're talking about a wrestling match with a predetermined ending, right? But at the end of the day, thank you, Ace, I see you. But at the end of the day, this is not even believable. This is not even sports entertainment. Ronda Rousey will smoke her any day of the week. And the fact that she's even in the conversation, she won the title controversially, Money in the Bank, that's legitimate, no problem. She retained the title in controversial fashion. She can't, like you said, I'm picking Ronda Rousey in a street fight with Ronda Rousey unarmed and Liv Morgan with a battery pack in her back. That's how serious it is to me. This is a laughable women's title match. Laughable. And Liv Morgan, laughable as a world champion.
Is there something they can do to make this believable to where Liv wins? Because I feel like a heel turn's got to be coming. I thought back during SummerSlam, everybody saw it as like, oh, Liv eked one out there. I saw it as she's a heel. She's got to do something to be a heel with this. Because, so I'm going to take a different route than you. I don't like her title reign, but Liv has something because the fans love Liv. And then they wanted her to be the champion. And once she got the title, we always do this thing. And it's, okay, now what? And it was, man, I may have to, it's been a pathetic title reign, like you said. That's the best way to put it.
That's fair. It's a pathetic title reign. Liv Morgan herself, see, you got to pay attention to what I said, bro. And for everybody out there listening here on the show, I didn't say Liv Morgan was pathetic. I said Liv Morgan as world champion is pathetic. Now, you don't have to lose the title to prove me wrong, but you need to do something to prove me wrong. I don't care if it's taking it, and it's going to sound really extreme, no pun intended. I don't care if you have to run her over with a car in the parking lot, a la Attitude Era days. I don't care what you have to do, but you have to do something to make me believe that you really have a chance in this match and that it's not going to be a complete ridiculous fabrication if you do win this match. Like I said, you jumping off the top rope through a table onto Lacey Evans doesn't do anything for me. And if you notice the crowd reaction, it didn't do much for them either. It was kind of like, oh, that was cool. We always, a human being jumping off the top of the post onto a table through a human being. Okay, we like that because that's what it was. But it wasn't Shane McMahon falling off the top of the Titantron. It wasn't Jey Uso jumping off the top of the top rope through Randy Orton or through Riddle. It wasn't that. It was like, oh, okay, Liv Morgan's trying to prove herself. You're the champion. Act like it. And she doesn't.
That is true. People dogging Lacey Evans, saying why is she even back? Liv Morgan's gonna come through with the sock and the D batteries. She might need them to get this dub. I think Liv Morgan wins somehow, Doug says. Cameron's got a long one for us here. He says, it's a shame what's been done with Liv. Her goal as a face with this booking should be to prove a point that she needs to beat Ronda clean, but they've made it as if she's just lucky to be there. Yeah, they've given her that underdog. And it never works, bro. Like, remember Rey Mysterio's first world heavyweight title reign? That's why that never worked, because he was just, wow, I don't know how Rey Mysterio keeps doing it.
Yes.
He won by DQ, bro. Like, come on, what do you want?
Exactly.
They did the same thing with Big E and Kofi. I don't think they did that with them.
I don't agree with that.
Kofi, I enjoyed Kofi's reign until they got to what they did with Lesnar, which was atrocious, and I don't even want to speak on that really. And Big E got robbed too by the same guy. Let's talk about that. Liv is very good. I don't know. The SummerSlam ending was bad booking, how they planned the ending. Therefore, it feels heelish when Ronda is supposed to be the heel, right? It made me confused. Agreed, Cameron. I feel the same way. I like I said, if Liv wins this, she has to do something very heelish and establish she's the heel in this. It was a good underdog story, but it's time to drop the title. It's better to see her chase than to hold on to the title. 6, that only way I'll believe a legit Liv Morgan wins over Ronda is if she continues to win underhandedly, cleverly, and dastardly. They got to paint her in a light bulb when she's outsmarting Ronda.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If you want to be that Chris Jericho 2002, 2001 kind of character that always has to cheat to win, that has to throw your opponent into an unguarded turnbuckle pad and roll him up and hook the tights to win, I don't have a problem with that.
But to have her tap out as she's pinning Ronda Rousey and clearly tap out before she pinned Ronda Rousey, how do you get off started on the right foot that way? You completely sabotaged the entire title reign.
Yeah, this ain't Kurt Angle Undertaker. I saw what they were trying to do, but it didn't work.
It didn't work.
I'm gonna say this here. I'm gonna say she turns heel later. Still, I think Ronda wins, and we'll get Liv turning heel later, if anything.
I think Ronda wins, and I think we get Liv turning heel that night. I think Ronda wins, and I think Liv explodes and loses her mind and beats the crap out of Ronda with a chair or something or a kendo stick. And you know what the sad part is, my brother? We're still not going to care.
Moving on.
No, take the graphic off the screen right now. You're not. Don't you? You always do that. You like to avoid comments like that because you know that I'm ruffling feathers. I'm telling the truth, bro. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling you right here and right now. Don't put the graphic on the screen. You acknowledge what I said. Liv Morgan is going to lose the title. Liv Morgan's going to beat the crap out of Ronda Rousey, and the crowd is not going to care. You're not going to care. I'm not going to care. Nobody's going to care. Do you know why? Because Liv is mid. Liv is mid. I like Liv Morgan. I respect that she crawled and scratched her way to the top. But Liv Morgan is mid. And when Liv Morgan gets mad and starts spazzing out and kicking the crap out of Ronda with a steel chair or with a steel chain or with a kendo stick, you know what everybody's going to look at her as? And you tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. They're going to look at her as a petulant child. They're going to look at her as like Christian from 2005. You know it, and I know it.
Christian was my dog in 05 for the record.
Don't just acknowledge the Christian comment. Don't just focus on Christian because I mentioned.
But Rob may have me wanting to change my opinion. He thinks Charlotte Flair returns to cost Ronda.
I don't see the screen name. What's the name?
Rob. 89
Rob. No disrespect, Rob. We're not doing this, Conrad. We are not moving on with this show until you acknowledge you have to take a stand. You do this all the time. You're my dog. You are my dog. You're my brother, but I'm not going to let you get away with this, okay? I didn't diss Christian. I said she's a low budget Christian. And by the way, 2005 is inaccurate. It's more like 2001, 2002 Christian is what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, you have to take a stand. Do you believe in Liv Morgan? Yes or no?
No.
That's it. That's the bottom line, brother. And there's nothing wrong with saying it.
But it's just WWE booking, you know? You kind of want the point for being right for the prediction, but you know. Can we move forward?
Yes, we can move forward.
All right. I just wanted to make sure before I get cursed out again on the podcast.
I didn't curse you out.
I'm playing the victim card right now. Someone hole punch it for me. We got an I Quit match here with Edge and Finn Balor. I'm going to take this graphic off because it's my turn now to get mad.
You're upset about it. I want to hear this.
Why? Why would anybody hang out with Finn Balor? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this. WWE Finn Balor is a loser. And this is mostly because of the Vince McMahon, how they wrote him.
This is a hot take.
Edge, it was undefeated. And the Judgment Day beat up Edge. Why, bro? Why would you beat up someone who's undefeated? Why? I don't want to hang out with you anymore. What did you want? You didn't want to win? You didn't want to hang out with a winner? You wanted to hang out with the dude who lost to Roman Reigns because the top rope broke? I don't get what they were doing here. And now we're in this I Quit match, and I don't feel like it's credible. This dude is losing to Rey Mysterio, and now he's facing Edge. And no offense, in 2022, Edge, Rey Mysterio. And I get Rey's been helping his son, and that's what he wants to do. But to me, this match doesn't have it. And I feel like Edge needs to put Finn over if we're going to redirect him and put him on track. Am I wrong for this?
You're not. You're not wrong. The only thing I'm not understanding is your angst. You're upset about the Judgment Day breakup. Is that what we're talking about?
They're stupid. They
Okay.
look stupid. Why would you go hang out with Finn and now you're still losing? You're losing more probably with him than you were with Edge. It doesn't make sense. Like, we're mad at you, Edge. Like, what are we doing here?
Well, in that case, I think you're hitting the nail right on the head. I think that they were on the doorstep of greatness. I think that when we thought that Finn was going to join with Edge, I thought that was awesome. But then the complete, it happened way too soon. It happened way too soon. I mean, they were just hitting their stride, and then, Edge. Oh, no, that's not what I said. I was talking about temper tantrum Christian. That we, by the way, was pretty. And that's another thing. Can I go off on another? I have to go off on another tangent. When Christian, first of all, Christian's a Hall of Famer. Let's show him some respect. But let's elaborate on my analogy. Christian played the role of a petulant child from like '01 to like early '02 because of the rise of Edge and basically the alliance angle, right? But at least he was funny. There was still a purpose. He was funny. He had people laughing. I was laughing. Conrad was laughing. I enjoyed Christian as a petulant child. But see, you know what the difference is? Christian was playing a petulant child. Liv Morgan is a petulant child. That's the difference. Now, I don't want to overlook your point about Finn Balor. Finn Balor, the breakup of Judgment Day or kicking out Edge made absolutely no sense. To your point, Finn Balor has to win, or what was any of this for?
Right. I saw somebody saying, Finn. So my prediction is Finn number one. Demon Finn is dead. Steve, I have to admit it. Like, there's no way that you can bring him back. Not right now. You got to leave that on the shelf for a little bit. The Roman thing's still too fresh in my mind. BJ said I got an even hotter take. Ever since Finn came to the main roster the first time, he's only been the demon or drop kick variations of signatures and 2 finishers, mostly bland. Whoa, hot take. Demon Finn was worth it, but they ruined it. I wanted Edge to unleash the demon on people like the attack dog of Judgment Day, but as the leader, so no. But we could use more of the actual Prince Devitt. Yeah, that's that. You got to book him to be credible. Who's your prediction in this, Sean? I feel like Beth's going to get grabbed, and they're going to make Edge say, "I quit doing some dastardly things."
I have my mind working on this one. I think that Dominic joining the Judgment Day was a setup. I think Dominic is really just a mole. And I think he helps Edge defeat Finn Balor and comes back to his father. That's what I think. And I'm going to tell you why. Not because I think it's a good storyline choice, because it's not. I think it's because Dominic hasn't gotten over as a heel. And I think they're going to have to abort. That's what I think. Okay.
So they're ending this one. I think Ray is going to cost Edge. Oh, shoot. Ray goes heel.
I love it. The black guy. I want to make sure this black guy is his screen name, by the way, just in case anybody's like,
that is his. I've been calling people by their real name because I know who it is.
That's his name, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm proud black man here, so don't get it twisted. I like that, but Ray would never. If Ray turns heel, that would be awesome. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, someone said, interesting take. Should we also consider AJ Styles into this prediction? The only way AJ and Finn and all them unite is if they get Anderson and Gallows and all them back. And to be honest, at this point, you don't need them. I said it. You don't need them.
Can I say
That's
something?
Just how I feel.
Somebody brought him up. Is it okay for me to say that Ray is stale now?
Rey Mysterio? He's only there for his son, honestly. Like, that's how I feel. I've been feeling that way since after that first year after the Rumble. I feel like Ray's only there to make sure his son gets a good deal and he's learning what he needs to learn if he's going to do this. That's it, I think, honestly, for him. Finn needs to either win with the Judgment Day or put Ray or Beth in danger. Ray doesn't need to go heel, but I like it. What's up, Cray? Let's move on to the main event here. We've got Extreme Rules main event. This is what I think is going to main event the show. I kind of put them in order of how I would book the card. But this one is going to be a fight pit match. I was hoping Ken Shamrock would have been the ref, but they have decided to go with Daniel Cormier instead. So he will be the special guest referee for this matchup. How you feeling on this one, Sean?
I don't care. I don't.
Dude, yo, listen. Sean knows I have the most controversial Seth Rollins take. I don't get this character. What is this supposed to be? I still, to this day, I just see, and everybody loves it. I'm just the one like,
well, I like sing along with Seth. I like sing along with Seth, but I do understand it's a little confusing of a character. But to answer your question, I don't care. I don't care. I guess Seth wins. I don't care. This rivalry has really ran its course, and it's over to me. And also from a directional standpoint and a creative standpoint, the fact that this is a main event pay-per-view makes me sick. I cannot stand the fact that there's no world championship on a pay-per-view. It's disrespectful. And I'm taking it really personal, bro. Like, I'm talking about disrespectful. You expect people to pay their hard-earned, I don't care if you're paying $9.99 a month. I don't care. You expect people to pay their hard-earned money to watch a non-title match in a main event. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. But to answer your question, Seth, because I don't care. And then I'll just say Seth.
Are you proponent for splitting the belts?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just interested in it. I want to see how they're going to handle it after Survivor Series and see what they do.
Yes.
In this one, I feel like Seth's going to win. I don't know. I think there's a lot of factors that play into it. Number one, though, if I'm Matt Riddle, I'm bringing up Daniel Cormier celebrating Seth Rollins winning at WrestleMania 31 and saying he will be a biased official, and I have my own. Ken Shamrock come out, boom, hit the music. I just want old Ken Shamrock for one night just to belly somebody, maybe an ankle lock.
Right.
He can still go. That's all that I want. But some people think we might get DC and Brock at one of the Sweet Saudi Money shows. Maybe. I could see that happening too. People are going in the chat here. Brock's going to come out the end and call out Daniel. I don't think Brock's coming out to do anything. He's revolutionary, a visionary, and has created, invented, and changed nothing with his character.
That was good.
That was good, BJ. This Seth is more a WWE version of the Phoenix Joker. I'd rather have a women's ladder match be the main event. I think you could flip either of those.
I agree.
The Saudi match is going to be the setup to end the show. Fight Pit, this is going to be a banger. Don't care if you don't agree. Oh, it's going to be a great match. Take nothing away from the wrestling ability of these two. It's just, It's supposed to be a play on the Joker, but I don't care enough to break down why he went that route, basically. If Bray doesn't appear during this pay-per-view, it's going to have the excitement of a whisper fart. Let me see here. Blood Money 10. There you go. Attack the referees while you're at it. People, I like Seth Rollins' character. He's kind of like the Riddler. See, some people love it. Does the White Rabbit show up? I'm putting that on you. Is this where it fits?
With a card like this, he better. I want to go back and touch on. Shout out to ML for that, but I also want to say who said something. Somebody just mentioned it. Shout out to ML, but somebody also mentioned it about Bray. I'm not seeing it in the chat.
Sick.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Sick as well. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Sick as well. He has to come out. He has to, and that's the problem with a card like this. I love Triple H and I love what he's been doing so far, but at the same time, it's like it's still kind of like ho hum, you know. Like you can't. Pay-per-views are supposed to end with a bang. That's what pay-per-view is for. And I'm still calling it pay-per-view. Chat, I want you guys to chime in, okay? Little interactive vibe right now. Should it be called pay-per-view or should it be called premium live event? I think that's totally commercialized garbage, okay? I call it a pay-per-view. Chime in the chat. Anyway, non-title pay-per-view main events stink. So, yes, the Bray Wyatt better show up. That's what I say.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he is the person. It's just what match happens. So someone said, is there a way to make this like disappointed? Like Steve, aka this black guy, put White Rabbit doesn't show just yet. I could see it where Eric Rowan returns, because Triple H made it sound like we're not even talking about who it is or whatever in one of his interviews. Maybe, but it goes back to what you said. If it's not Bray Wyatt in the end of all this,
oh boy,
people are going, oh man, what a major boo-boo you just made. Because the Bray Wyatt fans are crazy. I'm here to let you know they love this dude. They will make sure you hear it.
I've heard a rumor. And under any other circumstances, I probably would like it. But with all the Bray Wyatt talk, it would be a disappointment. I've heard Baron Corbin. I've heard that rumor.
I mean, they've had wolves pop up in the stuff. The three little pigs.
The problem is, like you said accurately, if there was no Bray Wyatt talk, it might work. But at this point, it has to be Bray Wyatt,
right? Let's see here. A lot of people are voting pay-per-view for you here. If you want to bring the White Rabbit back, why not Survivor Series and help establish the brand back? I don't know if they do that. I don't know. Can you order Extreme Rules through a cable box for $60 plus? I would not pay $60 for this.
You can. That's why Extreme Rules and all the pay-per-views are available on a cable basis. It's just nobody gets them on pay-per-view anymore. I think they're like $49.95 or $59.95, something like that.
The White Rabbit can be drug out till Survivor Series. The mystery has just begun. Don't be an impatient fan. I think you, when you teased that 923, you kind of, all right, you started grinding my gears a little bit because you watched it. You were like, another code? Okay.
That's on them. That's almost like saying, like, ignore what you've been seeing. Like Conrad just said, they put a number on it. When you put a number on it, it's just like Y2J coming out on the night he came out. So when the clock runs out, nothing happens?
Yeah. Can it be a faction with Bray as the leader? I think it is a faction, personally.
It better be. I would like that.
It was me, Adam Rose. Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. If it's Adam Rose, bro, I will turn this show off. I will probably delete anything I've said about this show.
We talked about this.
People are cracking up laughing in the chat. You guys are crazy. So not only is that, so that's going to be the pay-per-view for Saturday. You guys could watch through Peacock, not my favorite medium of watching pro wrestling these days with all those commercials on it, but it is what it is, right? So moving forward, we're going to bridge this nicely. It's Extreme Rules. It's an ECW pay-per-view. Impact's going to be honoring Raven, one of my absolute favorites of all time. I'm a big Raven fan. If you didn't know, he was NWA champion. He brings a lot of respect and success to the TNA Impact name. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I'm happy for Raven. Any fond memories of Raven, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, obviously his rivalry with Tommy Dreamer was epic in the old ECW, the original ECW. I enjoyed him as the multiple-time hardcore champion as well. I think that he sold things very well. I mean, yeah, there's no question. His moment in the ring with Stone Cold during the Alliance, when Stone Cold stood across from him and said, "You suck," quote, Stone Cold nevermore. But you know what? Even if that was kind of like, quote-unquote, a disrespectful thing to Raven, you know what I thought Stone Cold accomplished in that moment? Stone Cold accomplished making Raven relevant to the mainstream audience that didn't know him, because Stone Cold knew Raven's catchphrase and he quoted him in the ring. So I thought that was cool. Big shout out to Raven, much deserved. I think he should be in the WWE Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, I think he will eventually go in there. I mean, even as a kid, Johnny Polo was that guy. I remember him as Scotty Flamingo. That's how old that's how long I've been watching wrestling. But
former WCW light heavyweight champion.
Right? Going up, him and Brian Pillman were the only two. Quote to Raven, nevermore. The White Rabbit is Brandy Rhodes. Y'all need to stop right now. Stable of Rosebuds. Raven, yes. The Raven. I was down with the Flock. The Flock was always good, man. That was actually one of Derek's favorites. He was a big Billy Kidman guy.
And will always be remembered also as the bridge champion for the United States belt, because they had to get the belt off of DDP so that Goldberg could win it. So Raven took the title from DDP at the pay-per-view, and the next night lost it to Goldberg.
And they built it up so well, the way they did it. They switched to BFG coverage, starting with Ravens Impact Hall of Fame. Yeah, that was the bridge. That was the bridge before we got into it. We're going to talk a little bit of Impact, Bound for Glory, if you will. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Brian Myers is going to be on the countdown for Bound for Glory. He's going to have an open challenge for his Digital Media Championship. This should be interesting. You never know who's going to show up for this. Brian Myers is someone who I think has always been very underrated. I was a big fan of him even in the Major Brothers. I saw a huge upside to him. I know he's training a lot of your favorites now, like MJF and all them at Creative Pro. But Brian Myers has something to offer here. Definitely, I don't know who's going to show up for this. I don't have a thought. I don't know if you do, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, just it's always nice. Open challenges or mystery opponents are always cool because it's just that little element of mystery that always pops up, and you just wonder who it could possibly be. Let's call a spade a spade. No big name free agents are probably going to end up in Impact. It's honestly, I love Impact, but calling a spade, WWE and AEW are number 1 and 2. So, and then you got New Japan, places like that. So you're not going to get one of these high profile guys coming out, but it's always a chance for a surprise.
Right. Let me see here. Rob, I don't know who that boo's for. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry could probably be the person. That's a good point, Cameron. Also on YouTube. Yeah, you could definitely watch on YouTube as well. Thank you, Dark Elite Eric. Appreciate you, E. It's going to be Shark Boy. Give me a shell, yeah.
Love that
That's
guy.
the line. I was a big fan of him and Curry, man. I could all day. I'll say it's Max the Impaler. I could see Max coming out for that. Give me a shell, yeah. My boy Jameson Ryan of BGU will come out. Maybe.
Maybe a disgruntled Aleister Black. I know that's a stretch, but
yeah, maybe anybody could show up for this. Impact's been known to pull out some craziness out of their hat for once in a while. Myers, Cardona, and Green. Wow, not all sincerity. He is not a fan. D-Ray 3000.
Wow.
Let's get into the next matchup that we've got here. And this one is going to be a Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Now, I don't have the graphic up for this one, but Call Your Shot Gauntlet is basically their version of Money in the Bank. You win this, you get a trophy. You can cash in that trophy for a championship at any time. Moose won last year, and that's how Moose became champion for most of this year. Some of the names that we have in this, according to the graphic: Rich Swann, PCO, Sammy Callahan, Moose, Steve Macklin, Heath Slater. I think he's just Heath now. Bobby Fish is in this as well. Nothing makes me smile more than to say that.
Oh
so don't get me started. Who do you have win this though? Who should be the focus? I've got my prediction already. I think it's Steve Macklin. I think that guy has been tremendous. He just won that barbed wire massacre match in their last show that they had for Victory Road. I think that he's the guy. You got to go Steve Macklin in my opinion. Moose had it last year. I know they're going to tease the whole can he do it again, but
this is my whole business side coming out. I just kind of look at things from a strategic and almost calculated standpoint. You always give your new recruit the biggest bite of the chicken. So for me, I see it just from a promotional standpoint that Bobby Fish is going to win this match. He's the new shiny toy. He's the new free agent. He came here from AEW. I just think Bobby Fish. I don't think Bobby Fish is over without Kyle O'Reilly, without the Undisputed Era, or even take out the Undisputed Era without Kyle O'Reilly. Let's stick with that. I don't think Bobby Fish is over, but I think that when you come in as a free agent, and can you call him a high profile free agent? He's high profile and he's high profile in Impact. He's high profile in Impact, and he's high profile enough to win that gauntlet match. So that's my prediction.
I could say 3 or 4 people who would be better to win than him. I would rather have Swoggle come out again as AJ Styles when he came out dressed up like him. That was actually a great one, I thought, where everyone was like, oh, AJ's back. Hey, WWE sent AJ. And then you saw him come out and he did the pose and everything. I was in tears.
Still a high-profile performer. You can't take that.
He's not a bad wrestler.
He's not over, but he's good.
Listen, it's his just due. I think Macklin's the guy. Let me see here. Cameron's agreeing. He thinks it's the same. Let's see here. I feel Macklin is winning this. I believe they're building him as the next credible threat. I've been saying that for a little bit now. I have Steve Macklin. TNA's got a random call roster. Moose's cash-in is still one of my all-time favorites. His son was still in the ring. Yeah, Moose was dirty for that. He was still celebrating. He was just like, tell your dad, thanks. They'll tease it to Fish, so someone's agreeing with you. Bobby Bland. Oh, come on, y'all. Bobby Fish ain't winning that match. So I got Macklin. He's taking Bobby Fish. We've got Mickey James.
Here's the problem, bro. See all this reaction? And I love the reaction. Don't get me wrong. Keep it coming. But this reaction, now you guys are switching me over. Now you guys are switching me over from thinking that he may win to actively cheering that he wins. Now I want him to win. That's the problem now. I want him to win.
Don't do this. So we've got another matchup here. Mickey James versus Mia Yim. Mm-hmm. Now, with Mickey James, she's kind of on the Ric Flair tour of if I lose a match, I'm done, I'm retired. Right. Is Bound for Glory where Mickey James finally hangs it up to Mia Yim?
I think Mia Yim is going to lose.
Me too. I'm 100% on board.
I think it's a wrap for her. I mean, I don't think Mickey James, she is on her, her last legs as a performer. But I think in this particular match where the older wrestler, and I say this with respect for Mickey James when I say older, she's still gorgeous and still very in shape and awesome. But I'm saying old in wrestling years. I think Mickey James would be the pick to lose this match under normal circumstances, but not for me. I think Mia Yim takes the loss. I think she's gone.
Yeah. Sig brings up a good point. Mia Yim's contract is up after the pay-per-view. I think she takes the L. Yeah, I don't know how long-term or short-term it was with those Impact contracts. I remember seeing, like, certain people kept re-signing, and you were like, what are these, 6-month contracts? Like, he signed again, back to Impact. Yeah, I think Mickey doesn't call it quits here. I think Mickey's going to make it a long, long way before they finally decide to end it. And at least not here, not yet. We also have the Knockouts Tag Team Championships on the line. VXT, which is Deonna Purrazzo and Rob's favorite Chelsea Green versus the Death Dolls, Jessica and Taya Valkyrie.
I think Green and Purrazzo have the momentum. I think they should take it.
Yeah, and they've been teasing kind of a breakup amongst the Death Dolls and everything that's been happening with them. I'm pretty sure that's the best way to put it in. Man, everybody's bringing up Mia Yim's contract now in the chat. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, VXT has like they're it right now. And Deonna Purrazzo is one of the best in the world. And I know they couldn't have her just continuously having the title. That would get stale after a while. So this is the next best thing I feel like they should do. Is
it still to have a champion keep the title forever? Is that true?
I think an Impact it was because she demolished the roster like twice, bro. Like she beat everybody, and then when you're doing rematches on pay-per-views, you're like, I saw this.
I'm just saying the idea of a champion like never losing the title and keeping the title and just never ever losing the title. I mean, what a weird and unusual concept. I've never seen anything like that before.
It's happened.
It's happening right now, unfortunately.
So next up, X Division. You know how crazy these matches get. Someone who I think is going to be in EPW / Clash of the Podcast. When you're talking about who's Wrestler of the Year, I think this guy's name is going to be in the box. Mike Bailey has to be in that box for everybody. He's put on lots of banger after banger after banger on the indies in Impact. This dude delivers. He was a sought-after free agent for years, and he could not wrestle in the States. Mike Bailey is back, and he is coming back with a vengeance. He has been tearing it up, and he's going up against AEW's Frankie Kazarian here. Kaz was a big name in the X Division for so long. What do you see for this one, Sean?
Yeah, I think Bailey retains, and also I got to give a shout out to E for his comments. Everything I was talking about a guy somebody never losing the title, never ever ever losing the title. It rhymes with Yeoman Yanes. So awesome! Shout out to Positively E. But yes, Mike Bailey retains.
Right. I'm very unsure because VXT just won those belts. Speedball. Hold on. We just got to put Yeoman Yanes up there one time for the one time.
So good. So good.
Speedball is the man to run that division right now. He's absolutely incredible. He's their best performer, I think. Between him and Josh Alexander, they've been crushing it all year. Put the strap on the Karate Kid, somebody said. Mike Speedball Bailey, Kaz taking this L. I think so. Frankie's still in AEW. Yeah. I feel like Kazarian's in that Bob Holly type of role where he's well respected. He's just in there to make sure, can you handle this? Do you belong in AEW? I'm going to let you know. Yeah. And he just goes out there and does that. That's his role right now.
That's a perfect analogy on your part, Bob Holly.
Yeah. And when he goes out to deliver for Impact, that's where he gets to show out a little bit, show people like, hey, I still got it. This is what I can do. And I think Kaz puts on a heck of a match, but he doesn't come up here. He doesn't get the dub. Give it to Mike Bailey. Next up, we've got the Kingdom versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, I've heard the Kingdom's contract status is a little weird because they all came in with that Honor No More faction. Nothing wrong with that either. A little bit of the old Ring of Honor guard here. They're going to be taking on the Motor City Machine Guns coming up for this show. Do the Motor City Machine Guns win back the belts at Bound for Glory? I've loved them. Alex Shelley's been having a great year himself.
Yes. I think the MCMG are back on top. I like them winning the titles in this scenario. I think Bound for Glory is their lineage pay-per-view. I mean, Victory Road as well, but I think, Slammiversary too. But I think Bound for Glory is obviously their WrestleMania, and I think that you have the MCMG come out on top. I like Motor City in this match.
Fair point. And to those in the chat who have stuck around long enough, I know that we've only got 2 more matches to talk about. But if you want to be considered for this, let's give me a hashtag, Sean, for this so that we can know who wants this code possibly to watch Bound for Glory for free.
Okay. We're going to throw out the hashtag BFG. Let's say BFG Clash. Hashtag BFG Clash.
And that'll let us know that you guys are interested in winning that, because we're going to pick someone on here and then we're going to have you DM us and we'll send you the directions on how to do everything. All right. Let me see. We got a lot of people saying Motor City. I'm taking Motor City here. I like the Kingdom. If the Kingdom re-sign, I would pick them. More like Sleeping Pill, give it to the OGs, Motor City. Bailey will be the world champion by next year. I agree with that, Matt. Motor City Machine Guns will be the champs. We got to get Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR for the belts, right? Oh, dude, that would be so great. So great. Matt Lopez putting up the hashtag first here. Motor City for the win. TNA OGs. Sean Rad Clash. Rob, I'm going to need you to stop calling this podcast Sean Rad. BFG Clash. I love it. I see people putting it in there. Thank you so much for that. Let's get to the women's title match, and then we'll get to the world title match. Jordan Grace is the Knockouts world champion, and she's going to be taking on Masha Slamovich. I've seen her perform locally in my area, and I'm very impressed with Masha Slamovich. I love that she's using the snow plow. They gave her this gimmick that she's from East Europe, and she's just crushing people. I like it, but Jordan Grace, she's in great shape.
Yeah, Jordan Grace is on top of her game, and I love it. And I think that, she's going to come out victorious. I just think that I don't think she's ever been better. So I think Grace comes out victorious.
Yeah, I think in this one, I'm taking Masha Slamovich. I'm going and new. I think that she's earned her spot. She's undefeated right now. So I don't know if this is where they end it. Impact's known, though, man. They fooled us so many. You know how many times I thought Sting was losing at Bound for Glory and I was wrong like this? Yeah, I'm going to take Masha Slamovich for the W here, though.
Okay.
BJ Nerd Party with TK, great idea. Yo, chill with that snowflake stuff in there. Knockouts title is going to be the match of the night, Matt Lopez says. I could see that. I could see that happening. And in the main event, you have Josh Alexander defending the Impact Championship against Eddie Edwards.
Before we get into this, I just want to take a moment to talk a little bit about the champion. You know, I really Josh Alexander, in my mind, and chat, please feel free to chime in, has become, in my opinion, arguably one of the top 7 to 10 wrestlers in the entire world. This guy has made the Impact Championship mean something. I think that he continues to up his game. I look at him as like a modern day Kurt Angle. I think he's outstanding. And I think that him being champion is exactly what Impact needs, and I think he remains the champion. I like Eddie Edwards. I love what he's done, especially in the last few months, to prepare himself and get himself in line for this title shot. But I think that Josh Alexander, to me, he's made a fan out of me, because at first I wasn't on this bandwagon, but this guy is just unbelievable. So Josh Alexander retains the title, and I think rightfully so, because he's just on fire right now in my mind.
Yeah, Josh Alexander is definitely the person who they should have put the rocket on his back. I'm going to be real here. Like, this is going to sound totally wrong, but where we're at right now with Eddie Edwards as a character, I like Eddie. I think Honor No More, Eddie turning heel, he needed to do something different. But I feel like Eddie has become like that Tommy Dreamer type of character. He's the elder statesman for Impact. He's kind of the top guy you have to go through because he's paid his dues and done everything. Am I mad that he's in this match? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is I don't see what benefit it would be to give him the world title again. He's been the world champion many upon many of times. And I think right now you got to give Josh Alexander that Kurt Angle type run. He needs to be solidified, in my opinion, as the top guy.
Absolutely. And he's earned it too. He's been a grinder, and I'm so impressed with Josh Alexander.
Right. And I think when we mentioned before Mike Bailey being one of those top guys, I would also like to see Chris Bay in that mix as well. And some of his other fellow Ace Bullet Club guys. I think they're ready for the main event scene, and I think it's time to push them towards that. I don't know what's going on with Bullet Club and Impact and all that stuff, so hopefully that gets sorted eventually with it.
Programming note for those who are trying to tune in, Fight TV is broadcasting this on Friday night. It is a Friday night pay-per-view. Do not miss out. It's one of those things. I like the pay-per-views on alternate nights. I think WWE is starting to get on that bandwagon, clearly, with Extreme Rules being on a Saturday. But yes, please remember Bound for Glory on Fight TV pay-per-view on Friday night, which is huge.
Friday night, you guys know where you want to be. You're going to want to be there to see this main event. October 7th starts at 8 p.m. They're going to be in Albany. My good friends, the Insiders, are going to be there live. It's going to be a happening time. So if you guys want to be there, definitely show some love. Let me see here. Josh and Macklin is the way to go. Eddie isn't interesting to me as a character, unfortunately. Let me see there. Josh is the man. Eddie Edwards has just been there for years now. Josh losing to Musta and winning it back made him the man. I totally agree, Sean. Okay. BFG's going head-to-head with SmackDown and then 2 hours of live AEW. Yeah, they got Battle of the Belts, too. I forgot that. So they're going to be on for 2 hours again this week. But we promised a giveaway here real quick. So it's time. Sean, do you want to
No. I think you should pick. We're all waiting with bated breath to hear who comes out victorious.
Okay. I have put it down to who had like the most longest comments, most engaged, and I came down to 2 people, but my pick to get this is going to be Mr. Cameron Dressen. You have won the free Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory code. If you have a Twitter, send me a message, good sir. Send me a message. Hit me up at EPW Show, and I will get you that code so you can watch Bound for Glory on Friday night for free, my friend. I appreciate you coming in here. talking some wrestling with us tonight, and I thought it was very well done. Let me see here. Eddie Edwards, come on now, E. Leave my man alone. Shout out to the chat, everybody giving him some congratulations. I appreciate it. I'll message y'all. Definitely send me that message. A shout out to Fight TV for letting us get that code, man. It's definitely appreciated. The whole team over there. Appreciate you guys showing us some love for that. Nothing better than putting smiles on wrestling fans' faces, and that's what we do here at Clash of the Podcast. And we're gonna end this show with a bang. Thank you all. Make sure you guys tune in next week for episode 6. For myself and Sean, do you have anything good coming up this week?
Yeah, I'll drop some information on Twitter, man. We got Iceman Scully, the former world ranked boxer, giving me going to be my co-host on Hubbard Wrestling. If you get a chance, everybody, just follow the YouTube page, Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. I know we're here on EPW every week, but if you get a chance, just cross over and show some sort of.
It's in the description.
You know what I'm saying? That would be much appreciated. But it is what it is. I appreciate everybody, man. It's always a pleasure to see you guys and interact with you guys.
Thank you, guys. I kept Sean a little overtime for this tonight, but it was definitely good conversation. Wrestling community, always be kind to one another and enjoy some good wrestling this weekend. And hopefully you guys get to watch it with us. For myself and my tag team partner, Sean, we are out.